Chapter 9 of Many Lives, Many Masters centers on the theme of healing. While earlier chapters focus on Catherine's memories, the Master's teachings, and the spiritual realm between lives, this chapter explores how revisiting emotionally significant experiences during hypnosis appears to help Catherine recover from long-standing psychological distress. The chapter presents these experiences from Dr. Weiss's perspective as a psychiatrist. The spiritual interpretations described are part of the book's narrative and beliefs, not established scientific conclusions. Catherine's progress becomes more noticeable. By the time this chapter begins, Catherine is no longer the frightened, anxious patient who first entered Dr. Weiss's office. When therapy started, she experienced severe panic attacks, nightmares, insomnia, and numerous irrational fears that disrupted her work and relationships. As her hypnosis sessions continue, Dr. Weiss notices remarkable changes. Catherine appears calmer, more confident, and emotionally stable. Many of her lifelong fears become much less intense, allowing her to function more comfortably in everyday life. These improvements convince Dr. Weiss that something meaningful is occurring, even if he cannot fully explain it. Facing deep emotional memories. A central message of the chapter is that healing often begins when people confront deeply buried emotions rather than avoiding them. During hypnosis, Catherine revisits vivid scenes that she interprets as experiences from previous lifetimes. Many of these memories involve difficult events such as loss, separation, illness, or death. Although emotionally intense, reliving them seems to reduce the fear they once carried. Rather than remaining trapped by anxiety, Catherine begins understanding her emotional reactions from a broader perspective. Whether these memories are interpreted as literal past lives or symbolic expressions of the subconscious, Dr. Weiss observes that acknowledging and processing them appears to help relieve her symptoms. The connection between fear and healing. One of the strongest themes in Chapter 9 is the relationship between fear and understanding. According to the experiences described in the book, many fears lose their power once they are fully faced. Instead of running away from painful memories, Catherine explores them in a safe therapeutic setting. As she gains insight into these experiences, her emotional responses begin to change. Situations that once triggered panic no longer affect her as intensely. The chapter suggests that healing is not simply about eliminating fear but about understanding it. Dr. Weiss's professional dilemma. Dr. Weiss continues struggling with an important question. Why is Catherine improving so dramatically? From a conventional psychiatric perspective, he cannot easily explain the speed and depth of her recovery. His scientific training encourages skepticism and careful observation. Rather than immediately accepting supernatural explanations, he continues documenting Catherine's experiences and evaluating the therapeutic results. This balance between curiosity and scientific caution remains one of the defining characteristics of his approach throughout the book. Healing beyond symptoms. The chapter emphasizes that genuine healing involves more than eliminating psychological symptoms. As Catherine's fears diminish, other positive changes also become evident. She develops greater emotional resilience, improved self-confidence, better relationships, increased inner peace, a more hopeful outlook on life. Her recovery extends beyond anxiety reduction and begins influencing her overall quality of life. Spiritual lessons continue. Although Chapter 9 focuses primarily on healing, the Master's teachings continue influencing the narrative. According to these teachings, emotional suffering often encourages spiritual growth. Difficult experiences may help people develop compassion, patience, courage, forgiveness, and understanding. The Masters emphasize that every challenge carries the possibility of learning. Instead of viewing pain as meaningless, the chapter encourages readers to consider whether difficult experiences can lead to greater wisdom. The importance of acceptance. Acceptance becomes another major theme. The chapter suggests that healing begins when individuals stop resisting painful emotions and instead acknowledge them honestly. Acceptance does not mean approving of suffering or giving up. Rather, it involves recognizing reality without allowing fear to dominate one's life. Through acceptance, Catherine gradually becomes freer from the emotional burdens that had shaped her behavior for years. Love and compassion. The Masters continue emphasizing that love remains the highest spiritual lesson. According to the teachings presented in the chapter, true healing involves learning to love both others and oneself. Compassion replaces judgment. Forgiveness replaces resentment. Understanding replaces fear. These qualities are described as lasting achievements that continue to benefit the soul beyond material success. Dr. Weiss's personal transformation. While Catherine experiences emotional healing, Dr. Weiss undergoes his own internal transformation. Earlier in the book, he approached therapy using only conventional psychiatric methods. Now he finds himself considering broader questions about consciousness, memory, and healing. Although he never claims to possess definitive answers, he becomes increasingly willing to investigate experiences that fall outside traditional scientific models. This openness does not replace critical thinking, instead, it encourages him to continue asking careful questions. A broader view of healing. One of the chapter's broader messages is that healing can involve multiple dimensions of a person's life. According to the book's perspective, recovery may include emotional healing, psychological understanding, personal growth, improved relationships, spiritual reflection. Dr. Weiss recognizes that Catherine's recovery cannot be measured solely by the disappearance of symptoms. Her outlook, confidence, and sense of purpose have also changed. Hope for others. The chapter concludes on a hopeful note. Dr. Weiss realizes that Catherine's progress may have implications beyond a single patient. Her case encourages him to think differently about psychotherapy and about the potential complexity of human consciousness. At the same time, he remains careful not to claim that Catherine's experiences prove reincarnation or other spiritual beliefs. Instead, he emphasizes the undeniable improvement in her well-being and the importance of remaining open to questions that science continues to investigate.